The posse is alerted to someone in the river, and when they investigate, they discover a wounded and exhausted ranger. Once they calm him down, he tells them of the horrors he survived as a prisoner in a draconian camp. After a night of rest, the ranger named Link takes his leave. Grateful for their aid, he shows them the location of his village on their map. They decide to go question their scaly allies about the ranger, so head off to the draconian camp, hoping to learn more. However, when questioned, the draconians claim to know nothing of the attack and express concern about the dangers of the world. Their fears somewhat put to rest, the posse return to Trub Canyon and plan their next move. They decide the time to travel to Ipsum has arrived, as finding the mage Maven could be the solution to many of their problems. So, they hire a llama named Teki to help carry provisions and head off. On the journey, they find a camp of hobgoblins close to Fairport, so decide to inform Silvano about these foul creatures and let the dragon deal with it. They spend the rest of the day in Fairport, not visiting Tristel's mother and resupplying. Next day, before continuing their journey, they consult with Silvano. He tells them of a tale of a terrifying manticore, as well as the location of a guide called Jezebel, who can guide them safely to Ipsum for a price. The posse is at first hesitant, balking at the fee they would have to pay, but eventually decide to hand over the gold. While expensive, Jezebel's services are worth the investment, as they eventually reach Ipsum with no trouble. The once proud city has seen better days and is under the control of two gangs. The situation makes the posse nervous, and they decide to immediately make their way to Maven. So, they confidently head over to the section of the city under Maven's control. And after a few words to the guards, they are ushered into the dark, dilapidated castle, guided through dim and gloomy halls, and taken into a room before being asked to disarm. How will their meeting with Maven go? Where are all the dinosaurs? How mad will Tristel's mother be? Let's find out now on Embers of the Wilds.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to Embers of the Wilds. We have a good session for you today. Our players are not quite in a dungeon, but up in a keep somewhere, dilapidated keep, surrounded by hardy soldiers in good armor, here to visit a mysterious mage that has not been seen, but is rumored to still exist, hoping to unlock the secrets of magic in their hometown, but most likely having to pay some sort of price to get any help from these people this far away. So before we hop into game, does anyone have anything they want to bring up or say, or any other ears they need to put on?
I think I put on all of my ears so far, so I'm good.
Excellent.
How are you doing, Neil? How's life?
Life is good. It is no longer snowing here, but there's still snow everywhere, and it's wonderful. For a little while, there was so much snow that we could just, let the cat outside because we knew he wouldn't, run away because he hates the snow. His little toesies get cold, and so you can just be like, be free, kitty, and you know that he's never going to go more than, 10 feet from the house. But now it's melting, so we have to reharness him, and now there are fresh cuts on the hands from the teeth. He really knows how to set personal boundaries and enforces them very well. Sometimes we refer to Pantalaimon as a consent cat. If you don't know how to understand the concept of consent, he will teach it to you very quickly.
There you go.
We respect it.
Well, does anyone else have anything to say before we hop into this?
Geez. I don't think... I'm nervous. I don't know how this is gonna go.
Happy new Embers.
Yes.
Happy New Year. I think this is our first session of the year.
Yes. It is.
Hi.
I also
Any
saw that you.
resolutions that you're ready to break?
What?
Any resolutions you're ready to break?
Oh, I couldn't do any resolutions because I was knocked out at the beginning of this year, so I couldn't do anything.
I'm starting at a company named Resolution. That's exciting.
True.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are you going to break the company?
Break it? No.
We shall see.
That's a resolution you don't break. My resolution is to hit a new PR in the gym. I want to do 180 deadlift. I'm already at 160, so I think it's doable.
Oh, personal record. My brain was like a pull request at the gym. Like, wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. That's cursed. Love it.
Exercise your body and your mind.
Yes. That's synergy, baby.
Our players, our characters, are in a small room around a table. When the door opens, a guard walks in, steps to the side, and a wizardy-looking fellow, I suppose you could call, steps on in. He's got kind of loose clothing. He's got a headdress thing wrapped around with a blue crest coming out of it. There's a large dagger, short sword looking thingy at one side. His eyes are stern. He's got a darkened beard. And he makes his way to your table and sits down on one end while the guard watches the door and shuts it behind the two of them.
Are you perhaps Maven?
I am.
Okay, could you possibly just do like a tiny simple spell just to make sure that we know that you're Maven? We can't be too careful around here.
You're in my house.
I've never met you. I'm really sorry, but I don't know what Maven looks like, you know? Heard so many rumors and whatnot, or if not, it's fine too, I guess. I just wanted to make sure, I guess. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like slight you in your own house. I'm sorry.
Are you concerned that I invited you here and sent a lackey to meet you instead?
Well, it's possible, isn't it?
We're not certain that you exist at all. Sorry, Maven, I'm not sure how aware you are, but there's rumors that Maven isn't alive anymore, so how can we be certain?
He bobs his head up and down in understanding. I prefer to keep those rumors that way, but since you have information I want, and he will lift a candle, just like grab it by its base, and kind of look at it and snap his other fingers, and the candle will ignite, and just kind of poof, start, and he'll set the candle back down. Is that enough?
Yes, that's enough. I'm sorry for the precautions.
Confirmed mage.
So, you have information about the spread of magic throughout the land.
So you've noticed it as well, I presume?
I have.
Have you
Tell me everything.
Have you been able to deduce where it's coming from? Or any kind of source?
I have not. I'm hoping that is information you can provide me.
Well, Christelle here is the one of us that's the best at noticing these patterns. So I guess you can tell Maven what you found?
He turns his attention to Tristel, and it's sort of like an intense gaze, like a judgmental but also inquisitive look. There's not a lot of blinking going on. It's like uncomfortably direct eye contact.
Well, I'm not certain I can really tell you much. anytime I've observed the magic, detecting it, it's been an array of every school of magic, just so subtle, permeating everything. Not localized to any particular source. We've been trying our hardest to find where it could have possibly come from, but it's either thicker in some areas for no discernible reasons, or, like I said, just over everything.
Don't we have a pretty good idea of where it's coming from?
Do we?
He turns his gaze to you. Do you know where it comes from?
I
actually forgot.
We think that it could have a source in the mountains, but we haven't been able to discern a single source. It's stronger in the mountains, sure, but in the mines, that is.
Which mines?
Yeah? Did we forget?
Okay. Can I go out of context, out of character here for a minute? Like, are you like intentionally misleading him, or?
No, I don't remember.
I actually don't remember either, because we did. There was something in the mines, but I forget if it was stronger or if it was like.
There.
Yeah. So as soon as we broke open the elemental chamber water, the magic started gushing out of the Trog Canyon region, radially outwards from Trog Canyon after we broke open the cave.
Right.
So it seems fairly likely that it might not be directly coming out of those mines, but it's definitely like in Trog Canyon. We did something to make it stronger. Because we like walked like a mile south and it was weaker. We walked a mile north, it was weaker, and it was like radiating outwards.
Okay.
Yes.
Neat.
Okay. Sorry about that.
I feel like that's not. I feel like that's not too dissimilar from what I said. I still think that we don't know the exact source.
Yeah, I guess we just noticed that in some places it was stronger.
Yeah,
Near...
in there are a few places, but I don't think we've confirmed exactly. Like, yeah.
You mentioned a mine. Where is this mine?
Well, you know, we live in kind of desperate times, all of us, and it's kind of dangerous, as you know, to kind of give up where you are to strangers and, you know, tell everyone where you live, and it's kind of scary. And so, I don't know if
the mine is in your home.
Well, it's close, and I wouldn't want to do something bad if I tell you where we live and where we came from. Then I don't know what your plans are for this source of magic, but I would want to keep our town safe, and I don't know, well, what you intend to do with this. What's your interest in this source?
Since the end of the war, all great magics have left the land. Most were consumed in the war. Those surviving spellcasters fled the area, and we are left with the chaos that you see in the streets outside. Any source of great magic, one that can be detectable from afar like this, is bound to thrust our region of the world back into chaos. There will be people looking for it. There will be monsters coming for it. And in this precarious time, I could not allow such magics to fall in the hands of those who would do harm with it. Until we find out what this is, until it is understood, it needs to be protected from those who would misuse it, who would use it to conquer the area, to bring ruin and chaos. My intents are only to keep things peaceful, to keep things safe.
Sounds like we're on the same page then.
No boy, can I tell you about those monsters coming for this thing?
I was about to say,
Yeah.
we've already seen this in action. Would you be interested in journeying with us to the source? It's tricky for us to just tell you, where we're from, but what you speak of is already happening. We have draconians that are actively looking for the source of this. We think to spawn more of their kind. They may have a dragon's egg. It's needless to say, we could use your help sooner rather than later.
We've met a water elemental, an earth elemental. There's been a chimera flying above our town, and we've just never seen anything like this before. And it all kind of started happening around the same time as the magic started spreading.
He gets up from the table and heads over to one of the windows and looks out at the city before him and is silent for a few minutes. Without my direct leadership here, the Tiger Gang will overrun the city. I cannot leave, as much as I want to go find this source. I would offer you a detachment of my best guards, but again, things here in this city are difficult. But perhaps we can work together. He turns back to face the group. The Tiger Gang is run by a woman, or captained by a woman named Opal, who wields a pair of magic short swords. Where she acquired these magic items, I cannot tell. If she could be removed, the Tiger Gang would either fall into disarray, or at the very least, lack the proper leadership and power to overthrow the city, and that I could send with you a detachment of guards to help keep watch over this item, to help keep the monsters and the nightmares at bay. But finding and getting rid of the Tiger Gang is proving difficult. They are clever. My men wear the colors of our house here. They wear their uniforms. They act in the open. And therefore it is very difficult for them to find the secrets of this group. If the three of you can kill Opal, I can dispense a handful of soldiers to help guard your minds.
Wait, you're asking us to assassinate someone?
I'm asking you to kill a murderer. I'm asking you to put down the person who steals from the town, who charges exorbitant fees, who attacks my men in the night, who abducts individuals who might be of use to them, who throws their bodies out into the forest when she's done with them. Opal is not a good person. She is a monster.
We don't know too much about this town, but would Opal say the same about you, do you think? Or... and how you run this side of town?
She is a criminal. She is a monster.
Here's another
She
idea.
would say many things.
It seems like you can't leave this town, and that's reasonable, and your guard can't leave this town, but you want to do research on this magic, so instead of turning us into mercenaries, how about we be your researchers instead?
What do you mean?
You tell us all you know about this magic, and tell us how to research it, and tell us how to get more information on it, and we will come back to you with that information.
He sits and thinks, leaning against the window's edge. Is it safe?
Well,
Are the monsters close? Can you keep them at bay?
In our town? Or...
the risk of our town collapsing increases with every day we spend away from home, doing tasks for others.
He comes back to his chair. The first order of business is to keep the magic out of the hands that those who would misuse it. If it is imperative for you to return quickly, help or no help, then you should go as soon as you can. He looks over at Tristel. He sees the musical instruments. He sees the lack of spell components. He's already been told of the things that you guys have had to leave behind to come in here, and shakes his head. I don't know if I can teach you in a matter of hours how to investigate something of this importance. That would take years of study and practice. It would take specific spells, reagents, components, a proper laboratory.
Do you have a theory of what the source might be? That we might know what to look for?
Right. How many how many things could possibly create, an ever-present mist of every single school of magic? Surely there has to be something that comes to mind.
There are things that come to mind, but I would hate to give false impressions or jump the gun on what they could be. My mind races to artifacts, to philosopher's stones, to things created by deities, their great holy symbols, their great weapons. But there are a number of potential vessels for power of this magnitude. I would look for something obvious, something crafted, made by man or god. If it is deep within a mine, is this a mine that has been explored before that is being uncovered, or is it through new ground?
It seems entirely natural as far as we can tell. We have some mining operations in town, and then we just happen to open up into this large cavern filled with water.
Could be a gateway to an elemental plane, a permanent, stable gateway. How much do you know of portals?
I accidentally opened one at some point, but it was a long time ago. Otherwise, I don't know that much about the elemental planes and portals.
Portals are only meta-stable. They will not hold on unto themselves. Even the best-made portals of humanity are only held in place by strong magics and strong structures, and even then they fade and degrade over time, or must be turned off. If you come across elementals, and this is deep within the earth, it may be a permanently open or permanently stable portal to one or more of the elemental planes. Has it only been a water elemental you've seen? Then in that case, it may be a portal to the plane of water.
Well, we did run into a water elemental in that cave, but we have also had an earth elemental come to visit in their own ways. And we've also found a lot of magmen. I don't know if they are elemental creatures, but
They are denizens of the elemental plane of fire, near where it borders the elemental plane of earth.
But we didn't find any portals when we went through that cave where they came from.
We also didn't fully explore it, so...
Did we not?
No, not at all.
We flooded it, at least.
No, the elemental, the
We go
water
very
elemental.
deep in it.
Oh, the water elemental. Yeah,
elemental.
that one is not fully explored.
Mhm.
So
And that's where I would imagine any portal to be.
mhm.
Or artifact, or other source.
He nods up and down. What we are dealing with here is serious. It has the potential to shape this entire region, the remains of the Farron Empire. How far, in days, is your home from here, so I can judge the spread of magic?
What would it be? 1 week?
4
2
weeks?
weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah, I
I
forget.
forget, Neil. I think it was
No,
something like 2
those are-
weeks. Yeah.
Accurate guesstimates. Well then.
Speaking of magic, do you happen to know someone named Stuka?
No.
Doesn't ring a bell.
No one
Okay.
who, by that name, who uses magic.
Okay.
Are they a threat to this quest?
You know, they seem to deal with necromancy, and they're pretty close to us.
They don't seem an active threat right now, though. But necromancy close by is a scary thing.
How many warriors do you have in your town?
Well,
Not many.
it's kind of us three, and then we have a golem called Greg, and then we have a few.
Golem.
Yes.
That is
And then
good.
we have a few other people who we're kind of currently training, who are guards of the town.
I ask you to consider again my offer of reinforcements, soldiers that you can have under your command, trained, armored, true warriors.
That does
All I
sound
need is for
very
the
nice.
dangers in this town to diminish, for Opal to be removed from power.
But aren't you asking us to assassinate a political leader with a huge number of following? Like, that seems extremely dangerous.
I'm asking you to murder a bandit. Someone who is already committing murder. This is not a matter of politics. They're criminals.
What if
They
we ask them
hide.
to leave?
Let's talk about this, I feel like, independently.
If you ask them to leave, I'm sure they will stab you in the back with a smile on their face.
I wouldn't want that to happen.
I don't know if it is a good thing or a bad thing that such power has fallen into the hands of those so naive.
We're just trying to
You
be
see,
careful. We don't know
looking-
anyone in this town. All of you are strangers to us, apart from what we've heard. And it's kind of hard to know who to trust and what information is true and what is not true. If we talk to the common folk of this part of town, they're probably going to say that they hate the other side of town. And if we talk to the common folk of the other side of town, they probably say that they don't like this part of town. And I don't know how to make out what is the true state of this place. Because we just arrived. We just don't want to make any mistakes killing someone that we shouldn't kill, you know?
It's,
This is a difficult decision. I don't think we can make it on the spot.
Perhaps I should give you some time to think amongst yourselves. And he pushes back from the table. Please excuse me for a moment. If you wish to speak to me again, the guard will be on the other side of the door. Let him know, and I shall return.
Oh, can we have some water?
Of course.
I'm really thirsty.
We'll bring refreshments.
Thanks.
Wine for me, please. Thank you.
Of course. Please, enjoy the hospitality while you can. And know that if you refuse my offer of help, no harm will befall you. You will be allowed to leave. All of your equipment shall be returned.
I appreciate
Hope
that.
to hear from you soon.
Thank you so much.
He steps out the door. And the guard will step out of the door, and you can hear him like shut it and then lean against the door from the other side to make sure that no one interrupts you, or maybe to keep you locked in. I don't know. Your time to decide. I think that's a good place to take our first break.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Where's my break button? There it is. Okay, all right. See you in a little bit. Bye.
Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Embers of the Wilds. Our party sits in the meeting room, chatting amongst themselves. After a few minutes, a tray is brought in with a pitcher of water and a pitcher of wine and 3 glasses, as well as a plate of sort of dry crackers. And they are set down, and then the servant leaves.
Okay. And I pour a glass of water. I don't know what to think about this. They're asking us to kill someone. That's really scary. I don't know what might happen if we do something like that in a city that has so many people relying on this person.
I, for one, would like more information. Who this Opal person is, what their motivations are. I'm wondering if we can come to a more peaceful resolution.
I don't think we can ask Maven about any other information about Opal because they're super biased. I'm also just not seeing a peaceful resolution. It seems like both of them think that the city is theirs, and probably rightfully so. And so, seems like a tense situation to talk your way out of.
I guess more information would help regardless. Like, okay, let's say that Maven is entirely correct in everything they said. That this person is a horrible murderer and a kidnapper. What then? Would that change things, or?
So here's my thoughts, is that every day we spend away from Trog Canyon is a day that Trog Canyon is in danger. And also, I don't think that even a dozen soldiers are going to help us against the Draconians. There are hundreds of them. And if we start fighting the Draconians, they're going to come down hard.
I guess it's kind of hard for us to know how much of a threat our town is under. But we are kind of in need of experienced fighters. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary that, like, we are in this situation where anytime we're not in town, we're kind of worried about the town getting attacked because there are no, like, experienced fighters there. But
I think Greg is pretty experienced, I would say.
Greg is experienced. Yeah, although his health is not the greatest. He seems to get a little bit worse after every fight.
And how many fights has Greg had so far?
I think one real one and one mock fight.
I think he's gonna be fine for a while now. I think that if Maven wants to check out this stuff himself, then they can clean up their own city and come on their own accord.
Seems like they wouldn't be able to do it, though.
That's what I'm thinking. We're in an advantageous position that, well, we're not from here, so we could interact with these people fairly safely. I mean, we've already done so on our way in. Information of any sort could be useful. We could either confirm Maven's statements or present him new information that could be useful. It doesn't mean we have to get involved, but I think that looking into it could buy us a bit of leverage with Maven.
Or at the very least, give us more information to make a decision.
Okay, well, I think sheriffs should care about their own towns and not other towns, but I guess.
Kyra, people are getting kidnapped and potentially murdered, and that would be bad. And if this person is not stopped, then this would continue, even though it's not our town. It would be a bad thing, right? And so if what Maven is saying is true, wouldn't it be good to do something about it? Doesn't have to be assassination, but something to resolve the conflict a little bit.
And what if we get back home a day too late?
Well, that's always a gamble, isn't it? But think of the good that it would do if we had more fighters in town.
Okay.
It would be so good to just have more protection and not just a slowly deteriorating yet hardy golem.
I guess. Yeah.
I guess the one thing we should be careful of is not to tell people where we're from. Because if we do something in this town that makes people angry, we wouldn't want them to know where we're from.
Definitely.
Yes.
Maybe. What do we have a cover story? Where do we tell people we're from? Fairport?
That's a good point.
Because I don't think a small gang of mercenaries or even a big city would attack Fairport, would they?
And if
There's
they
too
do,
many
Sylvana
people
is going
there.
to be there.
Yeah. And then
Good point.
yeah. It is scary though, and we do need information about all of this.
I think saying that we're from Fairport is a safe thing to do. Don't know that anyone will question us too much on it.
It's at least 1/3 true.
True. And we just came from Fairport. So, we're
Yes.
kind of just from Fairport. Okay, so should we gather more information? Is that our plan for now?
Yes. Are we letting Maven know? Perhaps we'll let him know that we're thinking on it.
I feel like Maven must have more information about Opal, like where they are and where they're operating from, or...
I mean, isn't that what they want us to find out?
Oh, maybe.
If I recall, there was a tavern on the way in that a lot of those ruffians like to hang out at. Could start there.
Although, would we want to be seen prodding around, asking around for information? In case something happens down the line?
How else are we going to ask people for information?
Yeah, I don't know.
We can be careful with how we ask. I think of all places, a tavern is probably the safest to be asking questions of people, though.
True.
Strangers, that is.
Mm-hmm. Could go there a certain time of day when people are a little bit wobbly and say a little bit too much.
Sure.
Or at the very least, just listen. Maybe we can overhear something. Maybe not actively ask.
Interesting.
Although that's a slow process, and we don't want to be away from town for too long.
I think we have a plan of sorts.
Okay. So if we find out that they are not a murderer person and a kidnapper, what then? Do we just head home?
Yeah. Head home. No harm.
Yeah. Maven did say that no harm done if we don't do anything about this. Maven seems very understanding, but they're kind of intimidating.
Understanding, ambivalent. I think Maven does what's best for Maven.
Okay. Tristel,
Yes.
should we detect magic in here? Is it detectable that you are detecting magic?
That's what I'm curious about. Will a certain mage friend of ours know that I'm snooping?
I mean, if he doesn't see you cast the spell, it'd be pretty difficult for him to notice. He'd have to have something set up, or maybe he's like peering in through a hole in the wall, or there's no, like, if you are by yourself, it shouldn't be detectable by ordinary means. Should be
Why would
fine.
Maven bring us into a room with magic in it? That makes no sense. I don't think it's that useful.
I don't know. Maybe I just to make sure. There are lots of magical things that I don't know how they work, and who knows? Maybe there's something magical here.
I'll give it a look-see just in case. So detect magic.
Well,
Ritual
ritual
cast.
cast, right?
Ritual.
So
Yes.
So you, three of you hang.
is the ritual cast like loud? I guess.
I
There
can
are
mutter it.
verbal components to it, so if someone were in the room who would know what was going on, they would definitely tell. The guard on the other side of the door, that's a good question. Would they be able to identify what the sound of a spell being cast is? They might be able to hear chatter from through the door, depending on its thickness.
I have an idea. I take out my bongos and hand it to Pearl. Pearl,
Wait, what do I do with these?
make some noise.
Wait, that's weird. Wait, why would we play bongos during our meeting?
It's like a fidget thing. It's to let the stress out. We're brainstorming in here.
Or Kyra and I can just have a chat so that they just hear random chatter instead
I
of.
feel like that's good.
Yeah.
All right, I still hand the bongos to Pearl.
Okay, they're beautiful bongos, Tristel.
and ritual cast.
Maybe one day I'll
Detect
join your
magic.
band.
Let's see. You cast Detect Magic. And you will detect faint magical energy everywhere. That same sort of magic that you've seen before. But back in Trog Canyon right now, I do believe the magic is moderate in strength. And here it's only faint. There are 5 categories: faint, light, moderate, strong, overwhelming. I'm sorry, no, dim, it's the second strength. Sorry,
Okay.
I think my notes have 2 different strength categories, and they're conflicting with each other. Faint, light, moderate, strong, overwhelming. So this should be light magic.
Light.
Cool. Okay. It was late, I think, when we arrived here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we would need... Wait, we did check in at the tavern, so we... Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were seen walking into Maven's area.
Yeah, but nobody was really paying attention to that, so it's fine. We are just tourists. Just walking through town.
Who were expressly told by the Tiger Clan to not go into Maven territory.
We are just very curious, and so we went there.
Yeah.
Okay. If you say so.
Mm-hmm. There must be a lot of curious people. You know, there's trade going in there. You saw the line, you know, there's people going back and forth. I think we can blend in. Somewhat, at least.
Do you have anything you'd like to ask of Maven or speak with him again before you leave?
Don't think so.
Are we gonna talk with him again before we leave?
Might be good. Yeah.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
I think we can just wait until then.
Okay. If you wish, you can leave the town, or leave the castle back here and head back into the town of Ipsum, and then just walk back to your tavern, right? At the front gates?
Yes.
Wait, hang on. I was clicking on things.
Here.
No. No, actually.
Oh.
No?
Definitely going to take a roundabout way and not take the direct, obvious way.
Okay.
That might be a good
Okay.
thing to ask Maven about. If there are ways that Maven can help us stay kind of under the radar, if there's some, I don't know, some passage for like internal use for all the guards that is going to be a bit more sneaky so that we don't have to waltz through the main gate and whatnot. Something to help us stay a little bit more hidden, I suppose.
Do you think he'd give that information to us?
Maybe not, but I mean, if he would want us to assassinate someone, we would need some sort of way or means of making our way around town. I would think.
Sure. Maybe not the secret ways that I'm sure are relevant to keeping all the noble people safe and
Mhm.
or I guess there aren't nobles anymore, but keeping all of them safe. But maybe he just knows the best way to get around town without being noticed.
Specifically just to get from Maven's region into Tiger's region. Like that's the step that's worrisome. Rather than getting around town in general.
Because there's the one gate that breaches the two of them.
Oh, right. That's the...
Yeah, there's
okay.
only one way in and out of the inner city.
As far as we know.
Right.
Should we ask for some guarantee of safety if something were to happen? Or maybe
What?
they can't even enforce that if we're
No.
outside of this place.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess just walk and hope.
All right.
Okay.
Back to the
put the
long-haired
hoods-
troll.
Yeah,
Hoods
I
up
should
on
do
our
that.
cloaks.
Yes.
Our party makes their way back to the long-haired troll without any problems. You leave the castle, you get your gear back, you walk through the streets, the large boulevards, through the gates separating the inner and the outer city. Take your slight side routes so you're not on the one main boulevard coming all the way down, and get back to the long-haired troll. well after dark. It is quiet as you go through the streets. There's not a lot of people about. The few people that are see the armed sheriff and like move to the other side of the street and clutch their whatever valuables they have closer to them and kind of give you some space and some wary looks. But no one stops you. No one bothers you.
How many rooms did we stay for? Or how many nights at the...
I don't
just
think
got
we
the
decided.
first night?
Oh, maybe we just did one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't remember exactly what we had said last time about rooms, but there is one room with 3 beds in it that is perfect for the party. Otherwise,
Wait.
you'd have to like all pile into one bed or something.
Cool.
All right. Well, nighttime? Anything you just regularly going to sleep?
What's the room like in the tavern? Like, are there people just talking, or is it completely inactive and dead, sort
The
of?
common room?
Yeah.
There are 2 people that look like these sort of bandits that guard the walls who are hanging out in the common room. I'll go down to the common room. Who are hanging out in the common room, sipping some drinks, quietly talking amongst themselves. There is a beleaguered and exhausted looking server there. And she just like is so tired. You can see that she just wants to go to bed.
Oh no.
But these 2 people are here, continuing to order drinks, and she can't like leave the bar to them. And so she's standing there on her feet, eyes slowly fading and like waking herself back up. But other than that, the place is empty and it is quiet here at
Okay.
night.
So not much conversation we can eavesdrop on?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not here in the wee hours.
Okay, yeah. I guess we can just go to bed then.
Yep.
Okay. The night passes. No problems. You wake up the next day, and by the time you are fully awoken, there is some hustle and bustle going on outside your windows. There are people moving to and fro. You can see that there is a long line of people getting ready to exit the city together. There are some wagons, but mostly it's people with like bags and backpacks. And there are what looks to be like a group of mercenaries with them who are doing a head count and, getting everyone together in a file.
Where are they
Bandits
going?
are still around. And yeah, that's the scene in the morning.
Wait, was it like citizens? Or people that look like
Ordinary...
mercenaries?
No, there's ordinary people like getting together in a big line to exit the town, and then a bunch of armed people with them. They look like proper mercenaries. They've got, little bits of armor on, some nice weapons. The thugs that run the main gate here look more like thugs. They've got regular street clothes, and they've got like clubs at their sides, and maybe like a small shield here or there, or a bow occasionally. So it's definitely a different sort of group that is escorting these civilians.
That's
What would
kind
you
of
like to
weird.
do?
Or is it? Would we expect this to be normal?
Yeah, I
It's
kind
a
of
diff-
Yeah.
walk up and ask where they're going. Because, like, are they going to, like, Fairport to trade, or... Because I want to, like, be a tourist and ask about the
Yes.
goings-ons in the town, because I'm
Yeah.
a visitor.
Do you want to ask one of the civilians or one of the guards? One of the mercenaries?
I'll try and walk up to a civilian, and if a guard, like, calls me over and says no, then I'll talk to the guard.
No, not at all. Yeah, you can walk up to one of the civilians there. They see you approaching, and they stand back and kind of clutch at their stuff a little bit and goes, hello?
I give a friendly wave. I'm like, hey, I'm new here. I'm just like curious about where you're going. Are you on a trade mission, or what's going on?
We're
in
all
this
headed to
fair town?
Fairport.
Ah,
The forest is super dangerous. It's way too dangerous to go alone, but a whole group of people, we can pitch together and buy some protection, and it's usually enough to keep all the monsters at bay.
makes sense. Nice. Yeah,
No stragglers, though. You have to buy in.
of course. Yeah, I was just wondering. And I give a polite nod and walk away, I guess.
Yeah.
How many citizens were there? Was it like a group of 8 or was it like 50 people? Or
Looking up and down, you see that there are like 15 adults and 5 children, plus the maybe 10 mercenaries, 8 mercenaries. They're kind of moving to and fro, and there's some on the outside of the gate, and so it's hard to get the exact head count. 8 to 10 mercenaries, 15 to 20 civilians.
okay, so it's not like the entire town is just migrating, or
No.
okay. Okay. Very important. All right, so where do we go? How do
We
we?
start.
I'm guessing the tavern is not very active at this hour.
No, there's some people going around here. People having breakfast. Some folks here just for like a quick drink in the middle of the morning, because it is that time of year. And there's maybe 7 people that don't work at the long-haired troll in the common room. If you'd like to talk to them.
I think I'd initially would want to just listen in on conversations. Like, is there any conversation that's relevant to Opal or anything related to that?
No, from what you can hear at your table, at this moment, there's no conversations about Opal or bandit gangs. But then again, like, the bandits are right outside, and there's like one inside taking off his shoe and like dumping out some rocks and like squeezing his foot. And there's another bandit who's just come in from the outhouse out there, and she's going on in a string of salty sailor language about her experience in the outhouse just now. So there's no conversation about the bandits directly, but it's because they're here, right?
They're right there. You said there was like an employee, like employees kind of about?
Yeah, totally. There is the same serving girl that was on duty last night who is here.
I want to go talk to her.
You come up to her and she looks tired, like she hasn't really slept. She holds her serving tray to her chest and says, "What can I get for you this morning, ma'am?"
Oh dear. I just wanted to check on you. I noticed we came in very late last night and you were still up working. How are you? Are you rested?
Well, they didn't leave all night, so I didn't sleep all night, and I'm here.
Oh, you poor thing. Well, we should be here for the day and probably another evening as well. If you want, later this evening, I could play a song for you. It'll turn a short nap into what feels like a week's worth of rest.
That sounds lovely.
Wonderful. I believe we are looking for some drinks by our table, if you wouldn't help us.
Of course. We'll bring over some ale right away.
Wonderful.
She, trudges back into the back room of the kitchen and comes out with 3 mugs on the serving tray and sets them down at your table, and holds up, I can do math, 9 fingers. Copper.
I give her 10.
Excellent. She scoops them into a pile and goes to stand back near the door, out of everyone's way, waiting to be flagged down by someone.
So I turn to the group. I think that she may have information. I'm trying to figure out how to get it out of her in a way that doesn't make her suspicious, but if anyone is going to know all the goings-ons, it'll be the person that works all night to serve these ruffians beverages.
True. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Better than us staying here for a week gathering information just by sitting here and trying to absorb information, I suppose. So what's your plan? How do we How do we ask her? It's kind of hard to do it in the middle of the tavern, I guess.
It's hard to do it here now. She says she hasn't slept.
Wait, not at all?
We could come back later. No, not at all.
Oh.
So what I'm thinking is we can perhaps question her later in the day when her mind is even more lost. But I do feel bad for the girl, so. I guess we'll try not to. Hopefully she doesn't divulge too much, but.
Is there any other staff in this tavern, or is it just that one?
Here, there's
The
definitely
server?
someone in the kitchen working. There's got to be other staff around, but she's the one public one that you've seen this morning.
Mm.
And there's someone who tends to the stables as well. There's got to be at least 3 people who work here.
Oh yeah, because we brought the... I
Llama.
forget. Llama, right.
Alpacas are the ones that make your clothes. Llamas are the ones that carry your clothes.
Okay, but I'm guessing the stable hand isn't gonna know too much. Because they're not in the tavern, overhearing conversation. Is there anyone in the tavern that's currently eavesdropping on us?
There's some people with their backs next to you, but how could you tell if they were eavesdropping on you?
Just someone that like
They'd have to
looks
be
away
really
when I
bad
look
at
around
it.
the room.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, as you gaze towards them, they quickly turn their head away. You get the distinct impression that many people are looking at you out of the corner of their eyes.
Rude. They're all eavesdropping.
I don't know that that's what's happening, but.
But they were looking at us.
Oh, sure. We must be careful.
I pull my hood a little, a little further.
I'm not sure.
What if we talk to a citizen? What if we can meet someone in some safe place that's not in the middle of a crowd or just a regular person in town? I'm sure they'd be open to talking about what life is like here, right?
Maybe?
And we're just visitors, so we can just be curious.
Yeah, I guess we could have like a stroll about town.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, maybe if there's like a vendor or something. Maybe we could catch them on break. Shall we have a look about?
So should we talk to a smithy or someone who might be more connected to the, I guess, military operations of this place? Or is that too risky?
I'm worried about that because they probably make a lot of money from selling weapons to
Yeah, that's true.
to them. They may have they may be embedded in that situation.
True. Okay, well, I'm up for that. I think we can find someone to talk to.
Yeah. Just stroll about town, see if we can't find someone.
Yeah.
Are all the tiger gang, they're very clearly like wearing like a uniform or something? Or do we not
quite
know?
a uniform, but like they hang out together. All the ones that you seem to be like holding clubs at their sides. They have
Okay.
that impression of like, I'm in charge of everything and I can lay about and like no one's gonna fuck with me. They have this like casual, authoritative laziness around them. They're not too terribly hard to spot, but it is, in theory, you might be standing next to one and not know it. You know, they're not all clearly marked.
Right.
Okay,
So-
so we'll just be careful for that.
Yeah. So through the town you go, taking a look at ordinary civilians. Any particular type of civilian you want to call out, or should I just roll a random person?
I mean, I guess it would have to be someone where it's not super awkward to walk up to them. I guess. I think talking to a trader or something would be best because it's kind of natural to have conversations with them.
Right.
Yeah. Just down the street from your little tavern here, there are a couple of potters, or people selling pottery, I should say. One on the left side of the street, one on the right side of the street. The one on the left is doing like plates and bowls. The one on the right is doing like vases and lamps. So different businesses, no overlap. Clearly some sort of corruption happening here where monopolies are being developed on this street. That's a story for another day.
Mm-hmm.
The one on the right selling vases and lamps is an old man, and the one on the left selling plates and bowls is a young man.
How crowded is it? Is there like a lot of people around, or is it kind of...
There's some people walking through the streets, not a lot. No one has stopped at either of these stalls at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And both people are sort of, looking, waiting. If they see you guys kind of like eyeing these two, and the old man waves in your direction. Young ladies, I've got the very finest lamps in town. Everyone needs an oil lamp in their bedroom. Come on.
Sure, then I'll just
That one, yes.
walk forward.
This man.
What do the lamps look like?
What visions of loveliness you are to approach my stall. Look at these oil lamps I have. And he pulls out these, sort of ordinary oil lamps. You put oil on the top and then a wick down the front. And they're kind of nice. This one here, he points to like a very delicately painted one. It's got like a red earth and clay color with these like black stripy patterns around it. And then like a silhouette image of a chimera on one side, and on the other side, silhouette of like a T-Rex hanging out. This is one of my favorite pieces. It shows the monsters of the land. It'll help keep away the spirits in the night. You keep it lit, you let it burn all night long, and the ghosts will see the monsters on it, and they won't invade your chambers.
Really?
Mm-hmm. High quality lamp.
Are ghosts afraid of dinosaurs?
Who isn't afraid of a dinosaur? Dead or alive, those things are terrifying.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever met a dinosaur, actually. What are they like? I've heard they're dangerous.
All teeth.
All teeth?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, maybe we did meet some
jaws.
dinosaurs then. That one time in the forest. They had a lot of teeth.
Oh, maybe. The oil flow on this is quite good. You'll never have a problem with sputtering or spitting. The neck is just wide enough for the wick to go down, so we don't have to worry about any issues of jostling and oil falling out the front. It's well crafted.
The front
Excellent.
will not fall off.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you craft these yourself?
Why, yes, I do. Yes.
Wow.
My workshop is just back there. I work in the afternoons and evenings and sell in the mornings.
How long have you been crafting for? Have you been in Ipsum here your whole time?
My whole life. My father and mother before me were potters, and their parents before them. Long family tradition passed down through the generations. Ancient techniques known only to the great potters of Ipsum.
Well, what an honor.
Well, it's an honor for me to be possibly selling my wares to wonderful travelers from far, exotic people. Like wipes the old man spit that kind of forms up on the sides of his lips away.
You're like pretending it's in
shame.
character and not IRL, or...
Yeah.
What say you?
Oh, they're beautiful. I guess we're kind of mostly just looking around and see what's available in town and what life is like here, because we've never been here,
We have many vases as well. Do you need to transport oil or water or wine? These vases are great for that. Nice and stable, never rocking. A child can bump into them and they will right themselves right away. secret techniques handed down through the ages.
Wine, you say? Out of curiosity, how much are you selling these for?
What size of vase do you need? Do you just carry small amounts of wine, or do you have the need for a vase ready for a whole party?
A whole party.
Well, let me show you over here, young one. And he puts a hand on your shoulder and walks you to the back of the shop and shows you these vases that, they come up to about your hip height. And he gestures to them. This one here is 3 silver. This one over here is 5 silver, but you'll notice, and he taps it and sways and then sways right back. This one has extra stability. That's why the extra silver comes in. Can't tell you exactly how I make them, but it's great. These ones over here are painted and a little more pricey, but I think the decorations are worth it, especially if you're throwing a party. If your parties are anything like mine, the guests will want to see your wealth and power on display. Look at the portraits drawn on these. Look at the designs, the tangling knots, the beautiful leaves. Why, at the low price of 15 silver, this vase is a bargain.
Who are in these portraits? They look beautiful.
This one here is the legend of Rohana, a great and powerful warrior from a far and distant land. She fought pirates. The gods themselves emblazoned her weapons with magical lightning in the middle of a storm. She's able to float off mountaintops. Her sandals give her great speed. A terrific and wonderful warrior of legend.
She fights pirates.
Yes.
A woman after my heart. You've sold me. I'll take this one.
Excellent.
For 15 silver.
Hoists the heavy pot and walks it out to the front and gently sets it down. It's yay big. It's super awkward. It weighs 15 pounds.
Wait, is that
Amazing.
how long it is, or how tall? Or wait, what?
How tall it is.
Okay, all right.
Horizontal frames. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's large.
Yeah, it comes up to your hip. It's a big one. It's a biggin.
Good.
Excellent.
It's mine
Thank you. Did you pay him the silver?
Yes.
Take it off your sheet? Cool. Good.
Yep.
Well, does anyone else need any pottery? Lamps? Faces? You there, miss, with the armor. You look like you could use a good lantern.
Oh, I'm just here for these two. Let me pat my sword.
Do you throw parties often, sir? I've been thinking about throwing a party myself. Oh, in the tavern, it's so lively. I am curious about the individuals who frequent it, though. Do you know much about these tiger fellows?
Yes, I've had my fair share of interactions with them. They're a rough lot.
Oh, do they not throw parties, or?
Oh, they do throw many a party of their own, and they do crash many a party. If you wish to throw a party, I recommend doing it far, far from the front gates. Find another tavern somewhere else. Not the long-haired troll and... not Sit Ahmet. Another one. Some other tavern in town.
Why would they want to crash
if you
parties?
Don't mind?
Maybe perhaps you enjoy people inviting themselves in. In that case, sure, please feel free to throw your parties wherever you would like. But if you don't wish to be disturbed by the Tiger Gang, then I would find a quiet place to do it, well away from their zones of influence.
Sounds like they're almost dangerous. I thought they were just guarding the town, right?
Sure! Guarding the town, that's a good way of putting it. Guarding the town against anyone that may...
Throw a party?
That may bother their interests. Good jailers.
What exactly is their interest? Or sorry, maybe I'm asking too many questions of you. I'm sorry. I am
Gives a
still
shrug.
curious,
You
though.
know, the outer town is mostly run by them, or run is a strong word. They come by, demand their protection money, and he like kind of holds out the pinky finger on his left hand, and you can see that's like gnarled and bent at like weird angles, like it's healed improperly. It's best to pay up without asking too many questions.
Oh, what happened?
When they first came, I was foolish and told them that I wouldn't pay their protection money. They snapped it in 3 places. It's healed all right. I can still throw clay with the best of them.
Well, I'm glad you're still able to do your craft after that.
More or less.
Ugh.
Because of the secret techniques handed down through the ages by my ancestors. That's why we're so good. Even with a broken finger, I can still make pots better than that young boy across the street.
Do you know the young boy across the street?
Of course.
I guess you're competitors then.
He makes plates and bowls. I make lamps and vases. We stay out of each other's hair.
That's good.
Seems like a good situation. Well, sir, please know that your words are safe with us. We don't mean any trouble, of course.
Of course not.
She's a very fascinating city. Never really seen a place run like this, I guess.
Oh, you should have seen it in its glory days before the war, when I was a young man. Beautiful wealth and riches all over the place. Guards walking through the streets, keeping it safe. The lords of the land sparring and jousting on their great beasts of sharp teeth and tail. What a time that was. What a joyous, welcome, safe time.
Who ran the
Long
city at
ago.
that time, back then?
Oh, how much time do you have to listen to an old man babble?
Oh, you know,
family
I
is
could
dead
sit
and
here for
gone now,
ages. I'm just very
unfortunately.
curious.
Well, pull up a seat then, young lady. I will. And he,
I'll
like,
happily
has to
pull out a
keep
seat.
up the stool, and he begins to tell you the tale of the people that lived here before him, in the before times, and the great kingdom that was here with the tyrannosauruses that they would ride, and the wealth that came out of here, the spring at the back of the town that was so pure that people would even like import water from this area, which in this day and age is like a hugely laborious task. And how the river used to be much easier to navigate, and there weren't all these monsters in the lands. And he babbles and babbles and tells you a long, long story. Is there any particular information that you needed?
Well, I would want to know who ran the town back then, and then sort of segue into who's running the town now, and like what happened.
Excuse me. Well, the war came. We joined up, or Ipsum was part of the Farron Empire, in a way, and soldiers went off to war, and monsters came, and the fireballs rained down from the sky, the city caught fire and burned, the stewards did their best to put it out, but the nobles were gone by then. The T-Rexes broke loose, rampaged over the walls, murdered 8 civilians. It's not murder, they're just animals. Set themselves free in the forest out below. Their army group came through, sacked the town, killed a quarter of the population, took most of the wealth that wasn't buried deep underground, and moved on away. More magics came through, windstorms that broke down trees, snow in the middle of summer that froze people to death.
Wait, how
It was
did
a
that
dark
happen?
time.
Did it just happen naturally, or were there...
Snow does not come naturally in the summer.
Well,
No, it was the Great War. All sorts of dark magics were wielded, bringing unnatural effects into the land. Things that never could be were happening.
Hmm.
It was just the time. If you don't remember it, then you're all quite lucky. It was a dark, dark time.
Yeah, we live pretty far away from here, so we haven't really been a part of that. So who's running things now then?
Well, the stewards still hold the inner city. A group of people descended from the rulers who came before, not by blood, but those that were protecting the town and still survived managed to hold the inner city. They still fly some of the colors and wear the armors and weapons of the old guard. But out here in the outer city, they don't quite have the numbers to hold back. They do what they can. Out here, it's the Tiger Gang, who's managed to win the gang wars. There were many gangs once upon a time, but Opal came through and put the rest of them down, folded them into her little enclave. They've got little scattered bases and hideouts all over the place. Can't quite find from where they operate, but operate they do. They charge everyone the proper protection money and the fees for entering into the city. Even for locals, those born and lived here still have to pay fees every time they re-enter. It's an expensive thing with these tiger soldiers.
Do you get anything back from this money that you pay? Do you get protection or some sort of help with your business or housing?
During the gang wars, things were more dangerous. You might get taxed by multiple groups, or fires would break out, skirmishes in the streets. There was lots of crime in the days right after the war. Now that the Tiger Gang is the sole source of authority in street crime, they don't allow others outside of their operation to steal or beg or cause problems. So in a way, it's a little bit safer. We're only being exploited by one group of people.
Do you think if the old guard were in charge, it would be any better?
The stewards are strict. They follow laws quite to the letter. But I don't think they'd drag me in and break my hand or my fingers just for refusing to pay. They might toss me in jail for a while. They're strict and harsh, but more or less fair.
Do they keep to their word? Do they actually protect the city?
I don't live in the inner city, but my nephew does. He says it's fine there, safe. Inner city's a little bit taller, the streets are a little bit darker and more shaded. It's a bit more of a depressing atmosphere, I think, but order is kept well within the inner city.
Have you considered moving there?
Thought about it. My lady wife is unwell. This is our home, where we were born and raised, and she's not long for this world. As soon as we can find a cleric of Vorossi, she'll exit in a timely manner. But those clerics are hard to find these days. And so we're just waiting for her time to come, for her to pass in the home she grew up in. When that's done, I'll be alone. Might go live with my nephew in the inner city. Might stick it out here. It's not so bad. As long as I can make a couple of sales and talk to some charming people from far away.
I'm so sorry to hear about your partner. I hope everything will go well.
Well, if you see a cleric of Vorossi, tell them we have need of her services here.
Yeah, we can keep an eye
Absolutely.
out. Yeah. Kind of like I'm kind of like pretending I know who Vorossi is, and
Isn't that the goddess of death?
Yeah, Verasi is the goddess of death, and one of the jobs of a cleric of death is to help people peacefully transition from this life to the afterlife. So people who are in like eternal suffering, who have like conditions that are extremely painful, can be peacefully, we might, in the modern era, we might say euthanized, but, you know, let to move on. The goddess of death is sort of,
physician assisted.
Yeah, physician assisted. Exactly. The goddess of death is, you know, sort of death and destruction, but it's also sort of like the Grim Reaper, someone to bring you to the next side. There's multiple angles and layers to this multifaceted deity. And some of it is, you know, kind and peaceful and helping people move on.
I love that. Well, I guess we want to say our farewells to this man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He happily sees you off and stands dutifully at his little stall, waiting for someone to look this direction so he can hackle them over. Leaving the party to walk down the street a little ways and check in with each other about how you feeling about these Tiger Gang folks now?
Well, certainly doesn't sound very good.
They're not good people.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm curious how united this group is. If it was like a bunch of disparate factions, all under this one leader.
Yeah, so if the leader dies, then it might splinter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that would be a good thing for Maven, I guess.
Yeah.
Because then Maven would have an easier time, like, I don't know if capturing or reclaiming would be the correct word, the rest of the city.
I think that's sort of
It's
what
less
Maven was
organized.
implying, is like, Maven was saying that if you take out the leader, then it'll be a much easier time for him. So I think he was implying that, like, it would shatter pretty hard.
Yeah.
I
think that
wonder-
information he shared confirmed that there were indeed different groups that were like, okay, fine, I don't want to die. I'll follow this new leader.
Yeah, I do wonder how beholden all of the people in the Tigris clan are to the leader specifically. Like, do they rely on the leader? Like, is the fact that they have a specific leader the only thing sort of keeping them together?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume so, if they're made of disparate factions that were conquered.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, I would have no idea how to go about this, though, so, yeah.
Without like explicitly assassinating her, you mean?
No, I don't even know how to assassinate her.
Yeah, we don't even know where Opal is, right? And it sounds like they were intentionally keeping that information difficult to get as well. Like if they have disparate hiding places in various places and there's no like, I don't know, there's not a big keep where Opal is staying.
Right, if they have hideouts.
Yeah,
Multiple hideouts, yeah.
I guess. Oh, that would be spooky. I have a
What?
scary idea. We could work with them or pretend to help them until we maybe at some point get to talk to Opal. Although, that sounds really scary. Because right now we're just independent people. We don't have any allegiance. And so if we can get them to believe that we're on their side, then they would trust us, at least initially, right?
That seems like it could backfire so hard, especially if they saw us entering Maven's part of the city, which I assume they did.
Well, that's information gathering. Keep your enemies close, or something like that.
I wonder if we couldn't... Alright, hear me out. If the tigers like to crash parties, what if we throw a really big party and see if she shows up.
The biggest of
Or
parties.
else we can get a lot of tigers very drunk and perhaps glean some information from them.
That would be a way for us to gather information, I guess. We would lead them to us by hosting a party, and they would be...
I can feel the dread from Kira right now of like a party for recon.
I mean, you are a known bard that plays music and presumably throws parties, so it wouldn't be strange for you to do that if you visit a town, because you have done that before.
Someone was saying in
Gesture
chat
at
that
large
like
base.
they didn't like bards or something, and were gonna like kidnap you.
Well, I think they really liked bards. I think it was the opposite.
Right.
I think Opal may have been the one with a particular fascination with bards.
So yeah, I guess
kidnapping
bard
bards
party
too.
then has a high chance of opening. What? Sorry.
No, like kidnapping bards to like start a band. Someone in chat
yeah?
mentioned that earlier.
That's true. I come with bongos too. Listen.
True.
So I
yeah,
think
then
that could work.
Okay. That could work,
Now-
I guess. So, okay. Let's say
I would
we-
ask that you all keep an eye on me so that I don't disappear during this party.
You're generally front and center during parties. I think it's going to be easy to keep an eye on you.
Sure.
Okay. So, we throw a party in the tavern by the gates, or...
yeah.
Okay. And then we'll see what happens. So either people from the Tigers group are gonna hang out, and we're gonna potentially buy them drinks to make sure that they're all pretty drunk. Maybe using
gonna
your
fill this
new
space
big
up.
vase
Yes.
as a
We're
spectacle.
gonna fill it up several times. Ooh, what if we went to the other tavern that man mentioned and advertised this party?
Oh, are you allowed to advertise different taverns in a
No,
tavern?
absolutely not. We'd have to
Okay.
be quiet.
Spread rumors about this party.
Yes.
The old man seems to like talking a lot, so maybe we can use that person as a vector for our information spread.
We are explicitly following the opposite of his advice,
Yes, true.
which is throwing a party directly by the gates.
But that's fine, right? It's fine.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
we'll see.
Okay, what can go wrong? What is our... Do we have any ideas about what can possibly go wrong? Like maybe they don't join the party. Maybe they want to shut it down. Like what happens if
I mean, I
that's
feel like the worst case scenario, or like worst case still okay scenario, is they show up with like heavily armed guards, so we can't like do anything then and there, and then they leave and we can't track them to where they go, and so we learn nothing.
Okay.
Well, what if
Invisibility.
one of us, yes, just so happened to be invisible during this party? Then you can go in and out of any conversation going on, and if, for example, some armored guards show up, you can follow them.
True.
Lasts up to 1 hour.
I could. This is an idea. I like this idea.
And it's concentration, right?
Yeah.
Would playing music break concentration if it's not a spell?
Would indulging in large amounts of wine break concentration?
Yes. Getting drunk
Damn.
would break your concentration. Playing music would have a chance of breaking concentration.
Okay.
What if you play like the one you play the most, your most popular one? So you're kind of on autopilot. You don't even have to think about it. It's just the one everyone
Yeah.
asks for every time.
I have a feeling that it's going to be down to dice, but
Yeah, we'd give you a performance check, and like a pass would mean that you're so used to playing this track that
right.
you have no problems. A fail means that you actually have to focus on it, and then it would break your concentration.
Are there wooden beams in the ceiling of the tavern
Yes.
that one could conceivably sit on?
No. They
Okay.
support the ceiling. You could not sit upon them.
I was thinking if there's one like running horizontally, like across the...
Unfortunately, there's like another layer built on top of this, so all the beams just support the floor.
Right.
Not
Okay.
like an arch in the ceiling.
And you wouldn't throw a party on the upper floor?
No, because the upper floor is just the bedroom area.
Okay.
This is the ground floor that we're seeing right here. This is a small tavern. You know,
Yeah.
there's really only room for maybe 10 people in here. There are bigger taverns that would be more appropriate for party throwing. The upper floor is even smaller. There's room for maybe like 5 people, maybe 6 people here.
It is pretty small then. Maybe we should go for the bigger
Should we...
tavern.
Yes.
Although it is nice to be close to the gate. I don't know what's best here.
Where's our bedroom?
This is your bedroom right here.
Right.
Let me drag you to the right spot.
And so it's upstairs.
Uh-huh. And then the downstairs is like that.
If you wanted to be sneaky, Pearl could vandalize this bedroom a little bit. Little hole in the floor.
Vandalize it? I
You
don't
can
want
fix it.
Well, I don't want to destroy their floor. That
I
would be
mean-
rude. Maybe there's an existing crack, like some slit
Or
somewhere.
a loose board.
Maybe,
Crack it up a
yeah.
little.
Well, you want to try and tear up the floor a little bit, see if anything comes easily?
I mean, I guess in a very subtle way. I don't know if that's possible. Carefully pry up some boards.
Yeah, you go around. All the boards seem to be nailed down pretty well. You don't see any significant cracks. If you put your ear to the floor, you can't really hear what's going on downstairs. Maybe just like a very distant murmur if it's very quiet up here. It doesn't appear to be any pre-existing ways of gazing down below.
Okay, on the bottom floor, is there a perch somewhere where I could sit invisible and listen in, where I wouldn't be in the way?
If you were a regular human, I would say no. However, you are a Tabaxi. You have claws and you have a climb movement rate. In theory, I think you could probably like cling to the wall by your claws up high. It wouldn't be a perch, but it would be out of the way, and you could probably hold there for a while. I don't know how long.
Because it
a
feels
cat can
like
cling to a wall.
indefinitely would be very difficult. Like, I feel like that would require a lot of strength.
I'd probably ask you to make me a couple of strength checks.
Or con
Time to
checks,
time.
I guess, because it's a long-term thing, or I don't know.
Con is more like, you know, you're getting poisoned or something. This would be the duration of your strength.
Okay.
You know, can you hold the thing above your head for how long?
Okay. Well,
How pissed is the super tired barkeep gonna be if we throw a big party?
Does it matter?
No.
well. Okay. Should we look at the other tavern and see if it's like bigger or if there are like better places and see what that looks like? Or should we decide to go for this one?
I don't see why we shouldn't scope it out.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can head over to the Sit Amet. It is a much larger tavern on another side of town where there's like a little bit of a park around it and a bunch of trees everywhere. When you come inside, you can see it's huge. It's got room for tons of people. There's stairs leading to like there's like a walk around balcony up on the floor above. That's probably where the
Ooh.
bedrooms are. There's a nice proper bar, lots of tables, windows, a bigger hearth, a couple of private rooms. And there are more people in here already. Maybe 15, nah, not quite yet, not in this time of day. Maybe 8 people in here at this hour. Sitting, mostly having food, a couple of drinks here and there. The bartenders here look a little bit more refreshed, not exhausted. It is an old gentleman behind the bar with a little black tie on and a proper apron and a rag over one shoulder, cleaning out some glasses before setting them back down again. Quickly offering you some drinks if you'd like as you come in.
Yes.
Okay.
You can sit at the bar and scope out the place while the bartender's back there. He doesn't get in your way if you don't want anything. If you're not like, he's not going to badger you with questions. He can see that you're here for a nice quiet time amongst yourselves.
I'm just mostly gonna be curious and look around. So, what's the perch situation like in this tavern?
There is that upper walkway that wraps all the way around. And you can see down to the floor below. So if you were invisible, there's this railing you could perch on. You can just stand on the walkway itself. Great purchase spots.
Okay, that's good.
That seems ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay. Well then, why don't we go to our second break, and when we come back, our party will prepare the party of ages. The party to gather information and spy on this bandit gang.
I feel like this is gonna
Hear more
backfire.
No, it's gonna be great.
Okay. Neat. All right. We're gonna be back after the break. See you in a bit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Embers of the Wilds. Our party is in the tavern Sit Amet, and taking a look around, seeing what's going on. Place looks a little bit more upscale than the last one. It's sort of situated in this, almost like a park. It's mostly that the buildings nearby have all been burned down and trees have grown up around them, but it's still a nicer setting, and it's a bigger bar, and it's got a warmer feel to it. You could definitely throw a proper party here, and you've got a perch spot way up high.
Mm-hmm. What's the deal with the secret rooms? Private rooms, rather?
Ah, right. So there are 2 private rooms near the front entrance, right? And they just have doors and they close, and you can host something here. You can rent them out, or if the place is full, and the doors stay open, they can just be used as common sitting areas. If you want to close them off and like have it to yourself, then there's a fee for that. Kitchen's downstairs, bedrooms are upstairs.
I have a dumb question. Are the horses canon or are they alpacas?
They don't exist. This is legacy assets.
You just deleted
Gone.
horses. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
They got deleted. Well, thanks, Ashley. Oh my god, they're extra deleted. Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So these are most deleted horses I've ever seen.
I like this. This seems more suitable for a party.
Okay. Tristan.
Yes.
I guess sort of under my breath, because I guess we don't want to plan in front of the bartender. How long does your invisibility last?
1 hour, give or take. If I lost my concentration, less, but an hour.
Okay. the party will likely be longer than an hour, right?
Yes.
So I feel like we need to be smart about the timing of this.
Correct.
And I don't know how to do that. Because people, you're gonna kind of be the center of attention, but you're gonna have to cast invisibility on me without catching any attention, right?
Can be part of a dance routine, I feel like.
Maybe as a
And
spectacle.
then she goes invisible.
or-
No, like Pearl's back in the back corner of the room. And you're like, or is it a long range cast, or do you have to be
I
touching?
can't touch. I don't have to be in the center every time. After all, a lady needs to freshen up every once in a while. So we could slip away, perhaps when we'd like to. I think I do have a limited capacity for invisibility. It's not infinite.
I feel like we should work with the assumption that we can only do one.
Right.
And so I guess it's good. We should do it like right before any people we're interested in start arriving. Like if there are people that are gonna like crash the party or whatever, then we would want to. Then I would want to be able to eavesdrop starting from that
Yeah.
point. Or maybe later actually when they're a bit more drunk.
I think later would be good.
Yeah.
Ideally, it's when we already know that our person of interest is here, maybe about to be. But I'd say like later in the party.
Okay.
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 So, are you going to advertise this party, or are you just going to throw it and let them find it of their own accord?
It's a good question. Would it draw attention? Like if there's music and like more people than usual here, or is it kind of in a secluded area where nobody would really notice?
The front of the tavern opens up a few feet away, like just off screen right here is a main road. So if the doors are open and there's music and there's people hanging about, it would be obvious.
Or we could not even brand it as a party and just have it be an impromptu music session. And then when people start gathering, we're like, hey, let's buy a lot of rounds of drinks for everyone, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Great. Where are you going to put your big vase that you've been hauling around with you?
It's gotta be in the center, right?
In the center.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And that's the VIP table in case someone important shows up. Because that
This
is
one right here,
placed
this-
above a
Yes.
railing where I can just literally hang upside down and listen to any conversation.
Yeah, you can see that table real easily from your spot up here.
Yeah, if I'm like here,
Love it.
that's the VIP spot.
Excellent. All right. Well, it's not going to take a lot to get this party started. You already have bongos. You have a great singing voice. I think you have another musical instrument with you. And you've got...
My liar.
Yeah, you're a liar. You've got food available and drink available and money to spend, right?
Yes. Well,
Excellent.
party, we'll need some split up the costs here.
Okay.
Right.
Do I have money? How does money work?
I have 23 gold, I believe, on my person right now.
I have 13 gold.
20.
It's pretty
20.
good. 20
13
gold,
gold, 3 silver.
13.
And like 122 silver.
Yeah, for... I know it's a night out at a cheap bar for a bunch of people. You know, if the drinks are $3 a pop, and you're expecting maybe 20 people, and you want 6 drinks per people, what's that? 20 times 6 times 3 is probably about $360. So 4 gold would probably be enough to get you in a pretty good swing of things, unless a lot more people showed up.
Yeah, that's great, actually. I was expecting much more than that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, you know how these parties start. They always start with, oh, we only need this much, and then half an hour later, you're like, oh my god, we're already out. Someone needs to make a run. Are we enacting this plan today, this very moment?
It should be today, yes. Is there anything...
love the fact that you offered the other bartender to play music for her, and now we're just going to a competitor's bar and playing music over there.
Yeah.
You can still play a tune at the other bar at some point.
Them's the breaks. Them's the breaks.
Yeah.
There's still time.
Then.
Yeah.
Why don't we
Them's the
move
breaks, lady.
Pearl upstairs? I'm just going to put you here to represent that you're upstairs. Where are you going to set up Tristel? Where is going to be the place that you perform from? Pick a good spot in the bar.
I'm not sure.
In front of the fireplace. Then you got
Yeah,
like dramatic
maybe.
rim lighting behind you.
Sure.
Great. And Kyra, where are you going to be hanging out?
I wonder by
wonder-
the entrance, but there's not really any good tables there.
Are you just a festive goer? Are you just, here for the party? Or are you keeping like a watch out? Are you a bouncer? What is your role going to be?
I think I'm gonna be just in the back, keeping order and keeping an eye on things. I think my described role, I think I would like to be over here-ish, just because that's by the entrance.
Gotcha.
Should you be outside keeping watch?
That's awkward and way more difficult to explain, I feel like.
Yeah. I guess the only thing would be like your awkward drunk friends are inside and you don't really feel like drinking.
Maybe, yeah. I feel
Party
like
gets... Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'm good.
Nope. It's all you.
Ah! I feel like in real life, if that situation happened, I would just go home.
Same though.
I wouldn't just wait outside, because my hotel is like 2 blocks away. I would just walk home. So yeah, I think I'll sit in the corner.
Okay,
You
so
can sit in the corner.
what is the plan for when we cast invisibility?
Follow them? Overhear them?
But like I was thinking like when during the night would be a good time. Is it like if a lot of them show up, or maybe if even Opal shows up, then that's the moment, I guess?
Yeah.
But the question is, where do we cast it? Like, I don't know. Because if there's a lot of people, it's going to be hard to do it in a hidden way. Unless we had a
Perhaps
room
behind the bar.
at this place.
Ooh, can we rent one of these private rooms and use that as like, it's my chambers to refresh in between sets?
Like one of the upstairs
green
rooms
room?
should be good, right?
I was thinking one of the private rooms downstairs.
But we
it'd be
need those for
quicker
guests,
to-
don't we?
Yeah, I feel like packing
we?
guests in would be better. But
That's true.
Yeah.
So then upstairs where you are, I guess it's harder for me to go up there and get to you than it would be for you to come find me.
Yeah. But I mean, if it's a private room, you have an excuse to just go to your room, right? And so I
Yeah,
can
fair
just be
enough.
in the room and
Yep,
yeah.
that works with me.
Okay. And then you're the only one leaving the room, and then you can just tell others that your friend needs to rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they ask.
Yeah.
Great. So we're gonna start off with you playing the lyre and the bongos over by the fireplace. Yes. You're already hiding upstairs, I take it? Pearl?
I don't know if I would be hiding now. I think I'd just be in the bar somewhere, I think.
Out.
Just vaguely awkwardly hanging out. Maybe by Kyra?
Okay.
Or maybe it's a bad idea to stick together. I think it's probably good to see by Kyra.
Visitors come. They come out of the streets to see what's going on. It seems like there's not a lot in the way of musicians around this part of the world, or what musicians there are like, private. My uncle plays music, and so we have music at home, but not so much like people, like public performances like this. And so quite quickly, the tavern begins to fill up with people who poking in their heads at the very least, other folks actually coming all the way in. And after a few hours of music and festivities and sort of socializing and having a good time with the locals, you notice your first group of bandits arriving. It is a pair of bandits who come on into the room to see what all the hubbub is about. And they look around and they see over here a musician playing. And they see over here a strange cat girl thing going on.
I have my hood on, so I just look very suspicious anyway. I guess.
Just a couple of suspicious figures over there, and a musician over here, all by herself. And one of them pulls up a chair over here, and keeps time with their feet, and the other one heads off and leaves the tavern.
Nice.
Ooh.
Power move.
Do we notice this?
Absolutely. They're not trying to hide any of their activities. They're very open and brazenly walking in, elbowing each other, jerking a thumb in the direction of Tristel, have a laugh. One of the bandits just takes a drink off a table that was clearly belonging to another person who was there and sits down and begins to sip it. And the other person just scoots over and doesn't say anything about it and just lets them have their beverage. And then the first person elbows the sitting one and jerks their head outside and heads on out. It's quite obvious.
Okay.
Wait. A little while later, a few more of these lovely people will show up. Soon there are 4 that have arrived, coming on in and taking a look, and they take these seats over here, and they all turn to look at Tristel, sort of knocking other customers out of the way and looking in your direction. They seem intent and focused on the performer before them. Anyone want to do anything yet? Happy with how things are?
We're good. No, we're just hanging out in the corner, not existing, so...
I'm going to welcome them. I'm going to go up and kind of hello, welcome, please indulge in all the fine wine that you can consume. In fact, I highly recommend you try some of the wine out of this fine vessel, crafted from the finest fodder in town.
Yeah, they will dip their cups in the large vase rather than pouring the vase into the cup like a civilized person would. They just dip their dirty bugs in the vase.
Nasty.
Drink deeply.
Hell yeah.
Pretty soon they get into a relaxed position. They're kicking back in their chairs, sort of obstructing the flow of traffic. There are, compliments and heckles being tossed your direction. You get the distinct impression of being a source of entertainment for them, regardless of whether you're doing well or not. You're the object of attention and the object of fun for the evening. And so, there's comments about how well you play. There's comments about your clothing. They're just kind of being messy, annoying patrons, or sometimes fun. It goes back and forth. They're making their own fun pretty quickly. This one joins these over here. Mm-hmm.
I kind of just want to... Can I fit here? Can I scoot past them? Or are they, big?
Yeah, you can squeeze, between the table and the bar, or the stools and the table. Give me a stealth check to do this without catching their attention, though.
Okay. Or is it a charisma check? To be as omni-charismatic as possible? Or...
This is to, not bump into them. Just squeeze carefully.
Stealth check. 15.
Yeah, that's pretty good. If you bump into them, they don't seem to notice or care, and soon you can move to the other side. And
Okay, I'm gonna make my way upstairs. And just kind of hang out by the railing upstairs.
yeah. After another, 15 minutes or so, the one that was initially hanging out by here excuses himself and leaves the tavern. And maybe another 15, 20 minutes later, there's more regular civilians that have come in now. It's pretty much standing room at this point until this one returns with someone who must be Opal. A person carrying a set of swords on either side. And the thugs will make room for her. They will sort of readjust themselves around the table and give her the spot on the far end where she, kicks back, puts her leathered boots up on the table, pulls out one of her short swords, and you can see that the blade of one of these swords is green, and uses it to skewer some food and drag it closer to her. And then she takes a couple of silver coins from her pocket and just starts tossing them at you, one at a time. Not trying to beam you in the head, but definitely trying to get it in your cup, or maybe in the section of your lyre, that hollow section, or hit a bongo with it, seeming to have fun showering you with silver coins.
I'm gonna act like I'm trying to catch it. And kind of play. I want to accidentally drip some wine on my dress. It is a red dress, it'll come out probably. And use that as an excuse to go off for a second.
Sure. And you get the ow, come back soon! More music! Come on! And you can make a polite excuse to leave as they call after the performer.
Boop, boop.
Okay.
And watch you skedaddle upstairs.
I guess we're both gonna make our way to our room. And
I'm gonna switch from red gown to aqua blue gown.
nice.
Okay.
Let's do the
And-
thing.
This is the thing? This is the spellcasting thing?
We're doing it in the room with the door closed, just to
Gotcha.
Well,
and I am going to double check whatever pockets I have and make sure that I won't accidentally drop anything. So I'm not gonna bring a backpack full of arrows or whatever.
Right.
So I'm gonna
you
leave that
your
in the
gear
room.
In the room.
Yeah. But I will still have my staff. But I won't bring lots of shit that could potentially fall down.
The arcane focus staff got you, but not your short bow. Do you bring your dagger?
Probably easy enough to secure somewhere. So
Yeah, it should be easy enough as long as you don't have to go upside down. Yeah. Leaving probably behind the coins.
yeah.
Yeah, nice. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Soon Tristel comes back down in a new dress, and as you begin to perform, one of the bandits will come on over to you before you get a chance to really pipe back up and says, hey there, Missy. Didn't you come into town yesterday?
I guess it must have been yesterday.
We heard about that. Musicians coming to town. Boss loves music. Boss loves music.
Boss?
Perhaps you
Sorry?
could... Boss! He gestures in direction of Opal. The one with the
Oh,
green
that's
short
your
coat.
boss. Oh, well, that's wonderful. Music is so lovely. So I'm so happy to hear that she's a fan.
Big fan. Yeah. Anyway, she likes what you're putting down. Can you come on back to our place and give us a better show? A more private, less public demonstration of your magic skills of music.
Oh, but I'm needed here at the party. Oh, this is my show.
You don't want to disappoint Opal, right?
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a moment and think about it.
It's your funeral. And they go back to the table and lean in close with the others and, talk amongst themselves while you set up your next act.
I'm gonna be like right above Opal, on not the walkway side of the fence, but on like hanging out to the side, so people can still walk by. I just have my hand on the railing,
Right, so you're like
leaning out.
on the railing, leaning forward.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
So I'm gonna be listening as closely as I can, if they're gonna talk about random stuff.
Yeah. Give me a perception check to see what you can hear over the singing and the music and the talking and the clattering of dishes. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah. So you can hear Opal saying specifically... What's the book? Continuing the bit of conversation about whether or not Tristel was the one who showed up yesterday. Opal is saying, so where's the other one of them? The one with the fur? I want them both. Go see if you can't find out more about the one with the fur. The other thug over here who had just talked to her says, well, boss, happily to do that. Maybe give her another round or two to relax again. She seemed a little uptight. Didn't seem too excited about coming and playing for us. Those outsider people. They don't quite understand who runs the show around here, boss. They don't respect you the way the rest of us do. Let's give her a moment and see if we can't coerce her afterwards, huh? Opal says, sure, but it's on you if you can't figure out the location of the furry one or bring her back. The guy goes, okay, yeah, sure. And they turn once again to watch and listen. Now, Khyperia, you've been kind of quiet this whole time. That's kind of your job in the corners, keep a low profile. You can't quite overhear the conversation. What's going through your mind here, Khyperia?
I think I'm mostly on the lookout to see if anything turns violent. Then I'm gonna jump right in. And I don't think that anything unusual has happened for me to be alerted to anything. I saw Tristel go upstairs. I'm like, okay, Pearl is now probably invisible. But other than that, I'm thinking that things are going pretty good.
Good.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna have to keep track on that hour. Because I don't want my invisibility to break while I'm hovering above the table.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's only another song or two, which is maybe another 10 minutes, that the first guy gets back up again and comes on over here, sort of drunkenly ambling your way, bumping into you a little bit. Can't quite tell if it's intentional or not. And says, listen here, you're great. Your music's great.
Oh, well, thank
Boss
you
loves
so
you.
much. Thank you,
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah. Didn't you come into town with a furry-faced friend?
Oh, yes. Oh, she's not feeling well this evening.
No? Well, that's a deep shame. We really,
Oh, it
really
is.
love a chance to speak to the two of you in a more private situation. Your friend in particular is a great interest to the boss. How close are the two of you?
Oh, well, we're quite close. What's of interest? I have to tell you, I've been trying to get her to pick up the bongos, but she's just not quite there yet. So I don't know if she's ready to perform.
Do I hear that?
No. Yeah, it's a little bit further away. I'll need a second perception check from you.
Okay. Damn it.
Yeah, you can still hear this.
Oh, I can.
Well, I mean, boss has got money, he says, pointing to the silver scattered at your feet here. How much for your friend?
I'm sorry, what is the money for it? I told you, her performance really isn't, like...
No, to buy her.
Bye, she's... Oh, what a funny joke.
No, we're serious. You're strange looking, we're the tiger gang, that's like a white tiger over there. It'd be a great mascot.
He's not a mascot. Oh, what a strange man. Oh, you must be telling jokes, surely.
No jokes. How much money for the white tiger? Everything's for sale in this world. How much How much, I mean, we got a lot of money. We're talking golds here, lots of golds. Surely everything's got a price. White tigers are a rare thing in this world, especially one that can walk and talk like that. If it can play the bongos, even better. You could come out of this a very rich lady.
I'm just like in awe.
Don't worry, we'll
I really
be nice.
don't know about that. I am curious about this private performance. I have been doing some thinking on it, so it's very important to me that I stay here for the party. If however this private venue is close enough, I'm thinking maybe you could pop there and then pop back. Is it close enough that I could do that in the same night?
Yeah, it's real close, actually. Just down the block a little bit. Short performance is all we need, you know. Just away from all the crowds and, you know, a real heartbreaking song, you know? Or something super dramatic, super glorious. Something that moves the emotional core.
Sure.
Maybe a tale about a strong and powerful woman who brings a whole city together under her fists.
Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, I did hear an interesting tale about a woman who took on pirates. Actually, I think I'll sing a song about that.
Oh, okay. Sounds great.
Well, do let me think on it a bit more. Please enjoy some more wine.
Yeah. He quickly heads back over to the bar table, and Pearl, you can overhear her saying, she's in, boss. Don't worry, we got this. Just a quick trip to the hideout, and they all chuckle and chortle together.
Okay. Jeez.
So,
I'm not sure what the play is here.
a few minutes later, you've had some time to think about it. Can I get a performance check from you to see how, whether or not your concentration is going to get broken by all this playing?
Oh, geez, that would be bad.
Oh, it's fine. It's so fine. Don't even worry about it.
This is the time when buffing the performance feels really helpful.
Really comes into play, yeah. But a few minutes later, the same thug gets on up and he comes over, and in his hand he's got a pair of gold coins, and you're in between songs right now, and he like presses the gold coins into your hand and says, "Come on, Bard, let us show you to our secret lair where you can put on a great show just for our close-knit group. Don't worry, you'll be back in time for whatever."
Secret lair? I thought, what sort of venue is this?
It's
Are the
real
acoustics
underground.
all right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. I'm still not sure. I'm so
Hey, come on. You're going to make some money. This is the most influential person in town. You don't want to be on her bad side. You already promised you'd come and play for us. You're not reneging on this, are you? That'd be real insulting to the person who runs this town. Could be bad for you, you know?
Did I promise?
Uh-huh.
Well, all right. Listen, between you and I'm a little unsure about this song that I'd like to perform for her. It would be such a great help. Do you mind? Would you come with me to my room and I could test it on you first? Consider it a private audience.
Of course, I'd be happy to follow you back to your room. And he like throws a thumbs up to the group over there. And lets you lead him upstairs.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay, seeing this happen, I'm gonna like follow and scurry along, still on this side of the railing, I think, trying to be as quiet as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll bring you all over here. I think this is your private room, the one with just the one bedroom. You open the door and walk inside. The thug follows in after you and shuts the door behind him. Pearl is able to easily, be out of the way.
I don't think I can make it in there, right? It's way too tight.
Oh, it's a tight room, yeah.
Okay,
and
yeah.
the thug just brings the door shut behind him, and then leans against the wall or the door and goes, "So, what's this private show you got for me?"
Okay. I need to get ready first. Oh, please. I have a set of breathing exercises before I perform. If you wouldn't mind looking away, it's so embarrassing.
Look away from you? No,
It's just
I
one
couldn't.
moment. Just one
Not
moment.
in 100
please.
years. Okay, and he does the covering the eyes,
Okay.
but clearly leaving a gap between them.
I would like to grab the bongo drums and try and knock him out.
I thought you were gonna cast Charm Person or something. Not just straight up. Holy shit! 0 to 100.
I think Charm Person would knock out the concentration.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, this very well might
This
as
is
well.
this is definitely an attack. I feel like. Oh boy.
It's fine. Look, I was not hovering above the crowd this time, so it should be fine. Should be fine.
Tristell's not the invisible one, so an attack isn't going to break the invisibility for the invisible person, and it won't break concentration. Although if you get hit, we'll have to roll some dice for it. So go ahead and give me an attack roll, Tristell. It's gonna be, this is a melee strength-based attack, so it's gonna be a d20 plus 2. But since the guy is sort of drunk and has his eyes covered, I will give you advantage for him not really paying attention, and a plus 2 for him also having his eyes closed. So a d20 plus 4, and roll it twice, and we'll take the higher of the two. A 10 and a 16. The 16 will definitely hit. You smash him in the skull with the mug, and I need you to roll me not the mug, with the bongos.
It's definitely a mug.
Bongos.
Meal Team 6, let's go.
D4 for damage, and then let me read these knockout rules here.
The bludgeoning bongos.
Thank you, based bongos.
These bongers are gonna have some history now.
10% per point of damage, up to a maximum 80 if the victim is surprised, asleep, restrained, or magically held in some way. So the bongos crack this guy in the head. There is a chance. It's not a great chance. There's a chance he goes unconscious. Nice low roll. The bongos crack him in the head, and he leans to the side and slumps to the floor, instantly out. Minus 2 HP.
Okay.
Wait, what's the plan?
I'm gonna crack open the door and look around and whisper, "Pearl!
Yeah,
Pearl! I know you're there!
what happened?
Get in here! Get in here!"
Okay, sure. I guess I'll step over the body on the ground.
Okay.
Wait, what did you do?
Yeah, so this guy,
Yeah?
that woman wants to buy us. I think she wants to keep me as some weird music slave, and she wants to buy you for a mascot.
I heard them talking about that at the table as well. This seems bad.
This seems very bad. I don't think we should go there. Absolutely not. This
But
one.
what if this is
gesturing to
our only
men.
shot?
Are we trying to? Are we gonna go back there?
Or I don't know. Well, I don't know how we're gonna find them otherwise.
It's not like we have the ability to assassinate them with an invisible cat right now.
I mean, we
It's
could.
true.
We could at the very least follow. But I don't know if one of us gets captured. That would be really bad. Oh no. Okay. At the very we need to tell Kyra about this. Someone needs to tell her what's going on.
I'm not sure how to talk. Will you go grab her? Bring her up here?
I mean, I can try, but there's a lot of people down there.
We need her.
Wait, I think that's true. I think I have a message.
Do you?
Okay, hold on. If I cast message, that won't break invisibility for me, will it?
I think any spell casting does, but I will
Yeah.
double check.
But, well, if I cast message, will it?
No. Unless
Okay, then I can
message is
do that.
concentration.
Okay. Nice.
Do you have the message spell?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Or yeah, it's
then.
a cantrip. Yes, okay, so, and I can probably see her from atop.
Yes, if you move like up over here, you'll have no problem seeing Kyra.
Okay, great.
Great. You can
Let's do that.
shoot her a message of no more than 25 words.
I'm gonna stay here with the body, I guess.
All right, 25 words. Kyra, get up here now.
All right. I get up and start walking over.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Bandits don't seem to care. They're still drinking. They're still having a good time. Kyra quickly gets up here and can enter the room as
I
well.
will hop up on the bed, I guess.
I'm like, what did you do?
This man wants to take us. I don't think they intend on letting us go. He wants to buy Pearl and God knows what, keep me captive to play for them to the end of time. They're awful.
Okay, well, I think that answers the moral question of if we should kill the leader or not.
They seem like horrible people,
Sure.
from what I can tell. Yeah.
So, here are my thoughts. If we want to take them out, then maybe going with them is the best bet. However, I don't think that they'll want me to go without Pearl.
Pearl is invisible right now. Why not take them out right now?
Can we?
In,
They're quite
in front
many.
of everyone?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, jeez. What if someone alerts more people if they see this?
Then we'll run.
I don't know if we have anywhere to run.
What's your plan? Get captured?
I was going to suggest, yeah, sort of. So Pearl and I go with them, and then you are invisible to, like, go along with and then ambush them.
How are you going to explain this unconscious person?
He's very drunk. Actually, you know what? Can we just drag him out, like, by this?
Wait, just
Over
drag
here.
him out?
Can I click on the map? Yeah, just, like, over here in the corner. I think he fell over drunk.
Okay.
That seems a little suspicious.
I'm not confident in this plan whatsoever.
We should keep him in
Neither
here
am
for
I.
now. Because we need to think of some plan for this.
How tall is first story to second story?
It's like a little bit more than a 10-foot drop, because you'd have to probably drop from the railing. So you'd be taking d6 damage if you fell, or if you jumped.
Wait, would you be able to charm Opal?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because if we can get Opal to go somewhere else, not surrounded by all of these people.
That's what I was thinking. I'm wondering how we can get her away from these guards, though.
I guess if you charm them, there should be something that can, like, convince them somehow.
All right. Question. When the sleep spell says in ascending order of their current hit points, does that mean it starts with the person with the lowest hit points?
Yes.
Okay. What if I tried to put those guys asleep at the table?
I mean, they can be awakened relatively easily, right?
Yeah.
It's true.
And like that won't do anything to the huge crowd down there as well.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe this is where we go to our last break.
Yeah.
Oh my
Sounds
gosh.
like an idea. Hell yeah. Let's go for a break. Alright, see you in a little bit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Embers of the Wilds. Now, unfortunately, we only have about half an hour left in our game today, and what is about to transpire is going to take far more than half an hour of time. So I'm going to call it here early, and we're going to end so that whatever happens next, you know, the inevitable friendship party that ensues after this, or Tristel just making a whole bunch of money really easily, can happen in one big chunk, instead of breaking it up at the height of excitement. So we'll end our session here for the day. We can stop the creepy music. And that will wrap us up for Embers of the Wilds today. But I think we hopefully will all be back next week for more.
Yes. Oh yeah, I haven't checked my calendar, but it should be fine. I don't plan things generally, so it should.
Perfect.
You know, I have my like in-game timeline in my Google Calendar, and I mix my actual timeline up, and it's yeah, should be fine. Yeah. Ending on a cliffhanger, like as we've done for the past like 3 sessions.
I love it. I love cliffhangers.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna update because we didn't do too much chit chat in the beginning. I mentioned that we were considering getting kittens, like little ragdolls, at some point. And Evie, the mom cat, actually had kittens back in Monday, I think. Yeah, on Monday. So yeah, gave birth to a lot, actually, more than usual. 6 kittens. Usually it's like 2 to 4 or something. And apparently it's a little bit of a struggle because like you need to make sure that all the kittens get their nutrients and whatnot. And if there's too many, that can be a bit of a struggle. But seems like it's going okay. So yeah. So we might be getting 2 ragdolls in like
8 weeks?
April somewhere. Not 8 weeks. I think it's 12 weeks.
12 weeks? Okay, I don't know anything about cats.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so,
at that age, I don't know.
But yeah, so that's gonna be.
Oh, that's so
nice.
exciting. Kittens.
Gonna take too many pictures as soon as we are able to visit. I think we can visit in like a week or something. Somewhere around there.
Do you have names picked out?
Maybe. So it kind of depends on like whether or not they're going to be male or female, because we have different names for that. So we have some ideas, but if it's going to end up being a a male cat and a female cat, we're considering using the names Alphanaud and Alice from
Oh my
Final
God.
Fantasy 14. It would be such a perfect fit because they would be twins, which they are in the game, and they are both just white hair, which also fits perfectly. And they're pretty good names. Like Alfie and Alice would basically be the short versions, I guess. That's the current plan, at least. Yeah. But we're probably not gonna like try. We're probably not gonna pick like which of the cats of the litter we're gonna want based off of gender. So I'm not entirely sure yet if that's gonna be the combo. So it's mostly like we're probably mostly gonna look for like behaviors that are gonna match with Thor, like because Thor is old and we don't want to have like the most energetic, playful cats.
That's fair.
So if we find the two lazy poops, then that seems good.
I love it.
How exciting.
We'll see how it goes. It's gonna be fun.
I look forward to updates, and I will keep my eyes glued to your Twitter feed in about a
Yes.
week.
Kita pics. Kita pics.
Oh, they're gonna be at that like adorable age where they don't really know how to walk, where they just stumble around.
Bump, bump, bump.
Okay, but yeah, that's gonna be a good positive thing after my absolutely shitty New Year experience. It's gonna be nice.
Positive.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Is there anything we want to mention or plug or?
No plugs for me.
Sometime in the next week or two, we're going to do our spring gardening calendar. Well, spring, summer, and fall gardening calendar. We're going to do some big planning for the year of harvesting that we're hopefully going to do. I really want to start doing more gardening. And we built a big planter box in the backyard for it.
Nice.
In the fall. And so this winter, we're going to plan, what we're going to do, what we're going to plant, when we're going to plant it. If you're into agriculture. That'll be sometime in the next week or so.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting. I'll be looking out for that. I'm trying to do some like herb gardening, starting there, small.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And I saw that you did a secret stream that I was not allowed to watch.
Yeah, that was for planning for today.
Woke up to a notification on my phone and literally just says that I'm not allowed to join the stream. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fine.
Can't have you cheating here.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to stream more like planning stuff? Because I really recall that you mentioned that you were going to do more of that like on stream.
Yes. Yes. Well, hopefully there will be more planning in the near future.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Love it.
All right.
Well then,
Yeah, I think that's
see
it.
everybody next week.
Yeah. See you all next week. Thank you all so much for joining. I always forget if I have buttons for things to plug. Check out Koibu's stream. There you go. Twitch.tv/Koibu if you want to follow Koibu's other campaigns and whatnot. Yeah. All right.
Later.
Thank you all so much for joining. Bye.